Most RAG systems do not fail because retrieval is bad. They fail because the answer is not grounded.
Exactly. Grounded answering means the model stays anchored to the retrieved evidence when it writes the answer. Not vibes, not prior training, not plausible guesses. Evidence.
So this is not just, did we fetch relevant chunks? It is, did the final response actually use them?
Right. Retrieval can be good, and the answer can still drift. A model can see the right passage, then add an unsupported detail, smooth over uncertainty, or merge two sources into a claim no source actually made.
Which is dangerous, because the user sees one clean answer, not the invisible gap between source and synthesis.
And that gap is where trust breaks. In a RAG system, grounded answering is the control that turns retrieval into something auditable, instead of just persuasive.
Give me a concrete case.
Imagine an internal HR assistant. The retrieved policy says parental leave is 12 weeks for full-time employees after 1 year of service. The model answers 12 weeks for all employees. That sounds tiny, but it changes eligibility, creates employee conflict, and now your system is making policy instead of reading it.
So, grounded answering is about constraint. The model is not rewarded for sounding complete. It is rewarded for being faithful.
Yes, and faithful includes knowing when the evidence is incomplete. A grounded answer can say, the documents support A and B, but they do not specify C. That is often a better product behavior than a polished wrong answer.
Programmers hear that and think, fine, add citations. Problem solved.
Citations help, but they can be fake comfort. A cited answer can still be ungrounded if the citation is loosely related, or if the answer overstates what the source says. The real question is whether each claim is entailed, supported, or unsupported by the retrieved context.
That changes evaluation too, because classic QA scoring only checks if the answer text looks right.
Exactly. In RAG, final answer quality has at least two layers. One is usefulness. Did the answer help the user? The other is grounding. Did the answer stay within the evidence? You can have a useful-looking answer that is operationally dangerous.
Let us make that practical. What would you inspect if you were reviewing a system output?
I would break the answer into claims, then ask which retrieved span supports each claim. If a claim has no support, it is a hallucination. If support is partial, it is a risky inference. If the source is contradictory, the answer should reflect that conflict, not hide it.
So the winner is not the app that answers fastest. It is the one that knows where its authority ends.
That is a real competitive edge, especially in legal, medical, support, and enterprise search. The systems that admit uncertainty lose a little style and gain a lot of durability.
Another example, say I am building support automation for a SaaS product.
Good one. A customer asks, can I restore a deleted workspace after 30 days? Retrieval finds a doc saying backups are retained for 30 days, and another doc saying workspace restoration is available only on enterprise plans. An ungrounded answer might say, yes, you can restore it within 30 days. A grounded answer says, backups are retained for 30 days, but the docs only mention restoration for enterprise plans.
That sounds less magical, but way more honest.
And honesty affects metrics. If you only score exactness or user thumbs up, you can accidentally train toward confident guessing. If you score support by evidence, abstention when needed, and contradiction handling, you push the system toward grounded behavior.
So when teams say, our RAG demo looks great, the hard question is, great according to what?
Yes, great in a demo often means fluent and immediate. Great in production means traceable, bounded, and resilient under messy queries. Grounding is what separates those two.
There is also a power shift here. If the answer is grounded, the source documents stay in charge. If it is ungrounded, the model quietly becomes the authority.
That is the key strategic consequence. In RAG, you usually adopted retrieval because your documents are the source of truth. Grounded answering protects that architecture. Without it, you paid the complexity cost of RAG and still let the generator freeload off its pre-training.
So the practical takeaway, for builders, is not just retrieve better. It is design prompts, outputs, and evaluation around evidence alignment.
Exactly. Ask for answerable claims only. Require uncertainty when support is missing. Expose supporting passages and evaluate claim by claim. Grounded answering is not a nice-to-have layer. It is the behavior that makes RAG worth using.
Because once the answer stops being anchored, retrieval is theater.
And in a RAG system, the answer is only as trustworthy as the evidence it can actually stand on.